What's up, everybody? I know it's been a little bit of a hiatus, but I just wanted to get back into it. My fishing channel is mainly JDM, fishing lures, fishing tackle, and fishing rods and reels. And so with life and everything, I just kind of wanted to not miss out on this fishing season. This summer has been great so far. I got to find my DJI action and all the move. We're in a different part of Michigan. The fishing's been shaping up to be pretty good. Different waters, different situations, and so I just wanted to get into it. These are the 3 baits that I've been using so far, and as always, they're all JDM. They're either handmade by Japanese lure makers that I know personally, or just JDM shops that I get stuff from regularly. And so I just want to let you guys know that I'm going to add all those to the description via links, and maybe you guys can get lucky, and if it's not sold out, you can get in on these baits, because they have been doing really good with the fishing on the west side. Without further ado, we'll start out with the first one. So the first one is everybody's favorite. It works from spring, really all year round. Spring to winter, I'm using this bait. This is the jig. Simple, but I like to alter it a little bit. This is a Valley Hill Devil's Jig in 6 grams. But the trailer, I don't like to do the normal like craw trailer. I haven't experimented with that in these waters, but in the waters that I was living in for mid-Michigan, they just weren't doing it. And so I like to use the ISSEI's Shizumi Mushi, and that is just kind of like a bug sinking bait is what they describe it as, but it's just a simple, it's almost like a Ned is what I would describe it as, with phalanges. And it just, the way it's made, it tapers in the rear and it's bulbous in the front. It just adds weight to the jig. It actually aids the jig in falling straight and having the rear end stick up, which has been working really well. Most of the time it actually prevents my bait from getting stuck, because it's just always in the face down position. So when I pull, it naturally just kind of pulls it up and over structure, which has been really nice. And so let's get to the second bait, which is a really, I would say small, I wouldn't say tiny swim bait, because there are tiny swim baits, kind of like the Gangcraft Claw 70. That would be like a tiny swim bait. This I would say is a small one. It weighs a little under an ounce. I would say 3/4, 3/8, somewhere in there. But it's handmade. It's a little bit harder to get. It's a little bit more expensive, but it just works for me. It is slow sinking. It is from Take Handmade Lures in Japan. He carves these. He hand carves each one out of Japanese cypress, and the action is tuned by him. The paint job is all him, and he even tries to innovate the tail. He used to just put plastic, kind of stiffer plastic tails. He's changed these to a much softer material, so you get more natural motion. And it's just a single jointed glide bait, but you can burn it, you can twitch it, you can work it kind of however you want, even as a double jointed bait style, where you can just reel it, toss reel, toss reel. He tunes these so well that they're just versatile. The paint job lasts quite a bit. It wears very natural. This is in a color I chose. It's kind of bluish purple. He does a lot of different colors, and he is on Instagram, and if you follow him, it'll show when he releases these baits. But it's just a really good size. It's not too big. It's not like a 1.5 to 2 ounce glide bait or swim bait. It's just under that ounce, so you can throw it on very, very accessible tackle that can be multi-purpose, which I'll get to at the end. Lastly, this is the third bait that I've been using. It seems really simple. It seems kind of no nonsense, but I really enjoy it. This is one of the ways you can use it, but it is just a simple, soft lure swim bait. I prefer the 3.5 inch size just because it can imitate so many shads or forages in your waters, and I like mine in green pumpkin. You guys can use whatever color depending on clarity. My waters in this area are pretty clear, so I like to stick to green pumpkin as much as I can. But this is the ISSEI's caramel shad. You can also use something like the Ray Japan Full Swing, or whatever you guys like out there. But the key to this is these nail weights. These nail weights are essential to how this bait works and why it works so effective. So normally soft lures sink very slow unless they're super, super dense. If they're super dense, then they can kind of break apart really easily because they're so full of salt. You could take any soft lure, add these nail weights at 2 points, ignore the jig head on the front, but this is the swim bait. You add it to the tail end, as small of a nail weight as you can. That's why I like these Jackal tungsten ones. And then you add it towards the front using 2 separate weight sizes. I like the 1.3 to 1.8 gram on the front so that the head weighs down a little bit as you're casting, and then I like to go no higher than 0.9 on the back, and that just keeps it as even as possible, and it really gives it a good natural motion. And these caramel shads just have really good longevity as well as movement. That's why I prefer to order these, and you can get these in a bunch of colors at your wherever you find them, favorite website. I'll link the website that I like to use a lot. It's a JDM website, but it's all English. Nothing has to be translated. Shipping's no nonsense. But you can find tungsten nail weights, and those are the nail weights that I prefer to use just because they are as small as possible. And when you rig it up on an EWG size 1/0 to 3/0, depending on what you like. I prefer the 1/0 just because the motion or I guess the lure flow isn't as affected as much as it is by the 3/0, because the 3/0 will go almost to the back of the tail, and then you're gonna hit the tungsten weight. So again, tungsten's nice because it's small for how much it weighs, and so it won't get poked by any of the hooks you're using, and it won't impede any of the action. And so those are the 3 lures I really like to use. I like to keep it simple for summer. Now when it gets hot, I start experimenting with top water, but that'll be another video. There's also in my video library, there's specific videos over each thing that I just went over. A bonus lure that I like to use as an alternative to a jig that you guys could do is the Shizumi Mushi with a nail weight on the back. And this nail weight on the back just does what's called a backswing. And so when you cast, as it lands, it'll go away from you, which is atypical. Normally with a jig, you have it come towards you, or a Texas rig, everything comes towards you. So if you're really trying to work cover, or if you're shore fishing like me, which I do exclusively, you want to make the most use of all the cover that you're trying to hit and where you're trying to cast. Like if it's a small creek and you cast across, it can get into those fallen stumps, and then it'll just work out. And if there's something in that small area, then you can elicit a strike pretty easily. And that's just what I prefer the Shizumi Mushi for, is these two things. And it's just been a really good trailer. And I was talking to you guys in the beginning about what rod I use and kind of just the setup in general. I like to keep it as simple as possible, and I reduced everything to just one rod. This is the new Revoltage version 2 by Jackal. It's the 6.6 medium plus, and the specs on it are 3/16 to 3/4 of an ounce, which is why I can do a jig up to that Swimbait very, very easily and confidently. I have this paired up with the Exense DC. This is the newest model. I just like it because it makes casting super simple, super easy. It's just a quick dial adjustment, and then a little bit of tuning on the side, and I'm good to go. I can throw jigs, I can throw swim baits, I can throw the soft paddle tail lure, and I can just change up really quick. This rod has a soft enough tip where I can use treble hooks or single hooks bait pretty easily. And then for the line, this is 14-pound Sanyo GTR. It's a special, I wouldn't say polymer line, but it's a mix between fluoro and nylon, and it has good stretch. It's got fantastic durability, and the only thing is it also floats kind of like nylon, so it doesn't have that sinking feature like fluoro does. But yeah, these are the top 3 baits that I've been using for the summer. I like to keep it simple. As it gets warmer, like I said, I'll be putting out a new video with the hotter top 3 baits that I've been using. We'll see what these fish are biting on the west side. They're a little bit different. Like this morning we went out and we caught nothing but little rock bass. So a little sad, but part of the learning curve. And another video that I'll be putting out is the top 3 summer baits, but for spinning, because that is just as important as bait casting. And I like to keep my options open, and sometimes you just have to switch it up.